The order of the day is we're going to hear from the various speakers. Ian's going to kick off, taking us through the work that we've done collectively. All of us, a lot of us have been involved in, right through to the reveal, what the new brand's going to look like. Then Claire is going to take us through why we've went on this kind of journey and the elements of a brand and what it's going to mean for us going forward. Obviously, some of you, quite a few, I think, have been involved in the values. So Yvonne is then going to talk about the values and what that means for us as an organisation going forward and as a collective group going forward. And then Claire is going to come back to sort of really explain more and extrapolate more on the importance of marketing and where we see this going for us in 2020. So in our thinking, and what we should all be thinking, is this is the start of a journey. It's not the end of something. David's then going to give us a bit of an overview on, from a sales perspective, what that means for us all. And then Neil's going to come in and talk about what that means from a project and support and a systems perspective. Okay? However, I'll do a quick summary because there's quite a bit to get through between 11 and half 12, I think it is. And then we're going to have some games. So we're all staying. We're all staying for those, and there's going to be some gifts and things to give out at the end as well, and then a bit of a lunch. So hopefully, guys, you'll all really enjoy today. You'll be as excited and enthusiastic about where we're going and what we're trying to do and achieve as the rest of us. And as I say, just as a final thing, if you could keep today under wraps until we do the same thing on Wednesday, that would be greatly appreciated. So I think that's me whizzing on. So I'm now going to ask Ian to come up and take us through. Oh. Do you want the clicker or do you want me to do it?
I'm not used to using a microphone. Okay, as Patrick has said, I'm going to try and give you a little bit of background and do the reveal of how we're going to look moving forward and how we're going to act. Apologies, I have a little bit of a cold. I think everybody in the room is suffering from something. So hopefully my voice will stay through. A little bit of history. The Xperience name came about in 2001. And it was when the then shareholders and the founders of the company decided that they were going to grow the business through acquisition. What happened between 2000 and 2008 is not as impressive as what happened in 2009, was when Patrick, Andrew, myself and Martin bought the business. So we became the shareholders in 2009 and we inherited the Xperience name and the Xperience look and feel and the way the company behaved. Around about 2010 or some point in 2010, we as the new owners of the company wanted to put our stamp and wanted the business to feel ours, and we went through a brand refresh exercise in 2010. I believe, and I'm shooting a look to Patrick here as well, that's when the amber button came about. Then around about 2015, and I'll look to Jade on this, shortly after you guys joined Xperience Group, we had a discussion around, we were a group of companies, we'd grown by acquisition, and I felt and talked to Jade about it, that the fact that Xperience didn't say we were a group of companies. So we then expanded the name to Xperience Group, even though our URL and our email addresses were Xperience-Group. And that's when the amber button then became part of the Peterborough business, if you like. So just an interesting bit of background from my perspective, thinking about what we've been through. 2001 is when the name came, then 2009, 2015. Interestingly as well, the name came about in 2001 because the founders then wanted to go on acquisition, wanted to grow by acquisition. In 2010, we made our first acquisition as a team of 4. And in 2012/2013, we made our second acquisition, which was when all you happy faces joined Xperience Group. And what's interesting now is we have been looking at our brand over the last 10 months, and we're about to go on another stage of growth. So the omens are all good in that every time we've actually undertaken an exercise like this, it has led to significant growth and success as well. So again, just our commitment to brand, we, as you can probably remember from the general meetings, we had keys area of investment in 2019, our people, our systems and processes, and our brand were the key areas as well. And certainly this is one of those key investment areas. And I think what you're going to see today is the output of 10 months of hard work between everybody across the business, but also externals through the likes of Mammoth and other agencies that we've worked with. So what have we learned since we've been through a couple of brand refreshes? It's more than just a logo, and hopefully that's what you're going to see today. This isn't a matter of taking our amber button and turning it into something else that is more visually pleasing and actually this means something. It's about our people, it's about our personalities, it's about the culture of the business, it's about our processes, it's how we're perceived internally and externally. So this isn't just removal of the amber button, is that what we call it, the amber button, the device, and put a new device in. It's all joined up. So people, our processes, our systems, and our products as well, I guess. And the most important thing that Patrick has said is that hopefully everyone has had a role to play in this. Patrick's getting a bit of the old jitters in the old. And every single role mattered. Hopefully you do feel very, very involved, and we would like to thank you for your involvement and for the input that you've given. And I'll probably say this again, we talk about the brand, this is our brand. It's not, the shareholders of the business or the directors of the business that have forced this down. We hope that you will feel that it's our brand. You've been a part of it, you will embrace it, you will get excited about it, and you'll see where we're going as a business over the next 3 to 5 years. So again, given the fact that it's much more than just a logo, who are we? We've been trying to conceal things from you in the room, but we're a 50-year-old business, and I guess that brings an awful lot of experience, for want of a better word, to the table. But we're now a 50-year-old business that has moved into the digital transformation space, and when you look at the definition of what digital transformation is, it's taking existing processes and enhancing them or improving them or modifying through the use of digital technologies. And then when you look down into what way we structure the business, the digital technologies that we use are ERP, CRM, managed IT, and hosting a platform. So again, it's all tied up. I didn't go back to 1969 to tell you the year-by-year history as to how the group went, but this is pretty much who we are and what we aim to be over the next 3 to 5 years and longer, because this is, if you look at 2010, the experience with Amber Button, that's 9 years, so we would certainly hope that the brand will continue and remain in place and continue to evolve for the next 10 years, well past our existing business planning. So, voice is going croaky already. I should also say this is probably the first time I've ever stood up here with notes, which goes to show how much information we have to cover. I am hugely proud of the work that has been done. I'm also going to be very, very proud of what I'm going to show you now, which is the launch of the new Xperience identity. And as I say, it's much more than just how we look. It's about how we aim to be perceived internally and externally as a business. And hopefully you will enjoy our new corporate video.
Very good.
And believe it or not, I did that at the weekend. I think it looks amazing. I think whenever you see the identity and then you get to hear the rest of the speakers as we go through the presentation, it'll all start to slot together. You'll start to understand what we're trying to achieve and where we're hoping to go with the new identity. I mentioned digital transformation. There's two key things. The one thing that you'll notice is we've dropped group from the name. I'm not going to explain why. I'm going to let Claire do that when it comes to where we got to, where we are. And the second thing is our purpose. Our purpose is, as you'll see on the stand, driving business efficiency through digital transformation. And we feel that represents what we try to achieve as a business. You know, when you tie that then to our values, which you've been part of, it will all hopefully start to make sense. And there's a fantastic Q&A session at the end where you can ask some really, really great questions, I'm sure.
I should reveal.
Oh, right. Patrick could actually reach the bit that was... I had to jump up. It wouldn't have been a good look. Finally, just to talk a little bit about where we hope to end up, okay? So everybody knows we have trading companies, we have trading entities, we have legal entities, etc. However, we are moving towards being one Xperience. And you probably noticed it creeping into, well, maybe been forced through at every general meeting, is that we're starting to look at our business in pillars. ERP, CRM, cloud and MIT. So managed IT. So again, there are trading entities which have to exist for legal reasons, but moving forward into 2020 and onwards, we will look like this and we'll start to look at our business like this. It won't happen overnight. It's probably a 12, 18, 24 month period. And you'll see below that where we've got our three locations, Lisburn, Peterborough, Glasgow. And then obviously if you take our further strategy to acquire is as and when we acquire businesses, which we hope will happen soon, we'll slot those locations into the lower element of the architecture. So again, that's me for the first time. Now I'm going to hand over to a lot of other people. They're going to do a lot more talking. As I say, big thank you to everybody that has made this happen. Patrick's going to do a thank you. I can't not give a thank you. I mean, it's been 10 months worth, I was going to say 10 years there, 10 months worth of work. I think the corporate video is amazing. I think that the new brand looks fabulous. When you tie it all into our purpose, our values, and hopefully then you'll start to understand, or you'll start to see, and I think I put it in the last newsletter, you know, our systems and processes has been painful. But we have to go through that pain to get ourselves right, and it's all about trying to be one Xperience and to deliver on the values. As I say, they won't happen overnight, but we're on that journey now, Patrick, for want of a better word. So back to Patrick, and thank you very much for your help.
Thanks, Ian. Thank you very much. Okay, to try and give a bit more understanding as to how we all arrived at the logo and the brand that we're now going to be about, I'll ask Claire now to take us through that.
Talent. So next slide, sorry. So why did we evolve the brand? We can have the best products and salespeople in the world, but if no one knows who we are, we will never live up to our true potential. So there's a number of reasons why we decided to evolve the brand from where it was. It's time to come together under one Xperience. So Xperience has actually grown through acquisition, which has led to siloed working and inconsistency in terms of how we position ourselves and how we show up. The new brand aims to bring us together under one brand, one purpose, and one set of core values, all underpinned by a single brand identity. We want to create a foundation for growth. We've got fairly aggressive growth plans over the next 3 to 5 years. A strong brand is inextricably linked to increased sales and increased revenue. Building trust, as I mentioned earlier on, if we have a strong, consistent brand, we will build that credibility and trust, not only internally, but externally. We wanted to simplify our brands, bring them all together under one experience, and from a marketing perspective and from a business-wide perspective, it means that we can maximise use of our resources and our budgets. We wanted to leverage our capability across the business, so leveraging the capability of Peterborough, Lisburn and Glasgow, we have repositioned ourselves and aligned our brand with how we want to be viewed in the market. So in terms of us, we operate in a really tough market with really tough competitors, and the new brand will help to differentiate ourselves and increase sales and attract the right talent that share our values. So creating a business that reflects your aspirations. This has probably been one of the most collaborative projects that we've worked on. We've got the full support of the senior management team across all locations. And everyone in this room has been instrumental in helping to shape this brand, and all of you will be instrumental in ensuring its success. So I'm just about to pass you over to Paul, who is from Mammoth and has had a significant impact in terms of helping us to shape the brand as well. But before I pass over to Paul, I just want to show a video that Richard McCutcheon and the team pulled together. Absolutely, he's done a fantastic job, and it's just to show you what all the work that went into to getting the brand identity to where it is today. Do I need to press play? Cut off quick. Anyway, thank you very much.
What did we do there? Are we changing over? Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That's great. We've got it. Thanks very much, folks. I have to say, I'm delighted to be here this morning and to have been part of the process of rebranding Xperience and what's part of that. My name is Paul Martin. I've met some of the people in the room before from Mammoth. As Ian and Claire were both saying there, it's not an easy thing to do to rebrand a company of this size across different organisations, different processes, all of the things that are part and parcel of that. And I think just sitting there this morning, I can see how much has gone into that, and we've had a small part to play in that. But from the outside looking in, what that would say to me is that this is a company that is determined to have the ambition to grow and do more and to do better and to make everybody part of that ambition. And that's really the very first point in that journey going forward. And that's brilliant to see. It's brilliant to be here, and it's brilliant to have all of you doing that. Part of our remit of that is to start to think about how it all connects together. How do we make all of these moving parts come together to really sing and dance and make that come to life in a really important way? We're a brand consultancy of 60 people. We have offices in Belfast, London, Dublin and Birmingham. And we've a number of clients that we work with over a number of different sectors. And part and parcel of that is understanding of how we put these clients on a journey and what that means to them. So, for example, ICON in the top left there are one of the largest clinical research organisations in the world. We started working for them 13 years ago, and they were a 300 million turnover company with 3,500 staff. Today, they're a 2.5 billion turnover company, 14,000 staff across 78 offices in over 50 countries. And they're on a trajectory that is so impressive to see and so strong. And all of those different people across all of those different areas of their company are all connected by one thing. It's their brand. It's what makes them proud and happy and determined to be there and to work into that one end of purpose and what they do. So there's an element of that when we understand that and we get behind it, it brings a massive strength to who we are and how we go forward. And then we have a number of other ones that we work for, like Rory McIlroy, the European Tour. We've done a great project with Ed Sheeran this year. We've a couple of the big universities in the UK. I've just been appointed to Exeter University. We're working with Norwich at the University of East Anglia. So the brand aspect is the thing that connects all of those, and that's where we come in and how we do that. So what I'm going to talk about is just a wee bit about how we bring that all together. The purpose, positioning, the tone of voice, and then the identity and colours. So what we would say is if we're going to create a unique brand position, we break it down into two core areas. And one actually doesn't work without the other. So first is this area about brand purpose, brand position, tone of voice, values, core brand pillars, and the supporting themes that go with that. So it's like the articulation of our brand. So if we say and we find out through that 10 months of work that we're a vibrant company that's determined to go forward and we've got a real vibrancy about who we are, well then we've got to make our visual communications match that. So that can't be dull and boring on one side and vibrant and full of energy on the other. So when we look at that and we think about the identity and the colour palette and the typography, we take logical steps that make them fit with how we talk about the other side. And that's a really important point about it, because the actual look and feel of the brand and the strength and confidence that goes with that is going to be one of the things that helps drive us into those new markets and those new areas of how we do that. And what we would always say, just as Claire was saying there, brand is about perception. It's simply what people think about you. But the aspect of that is that we can influence that perception by how strongly we communicate our values, by how determined we are, by the confidence and clarity we put in the messages that we put out into the market. And then that influences choice, and people choose us for a reason. So that aspect of perception is really important. We don't leave that to chance. We make sure that we drive home the things that are really important about that and what that means. Second aspect of that is it brings people together with confidence and pride and sets benchmarks for collaboration and achievement. So when Ian talks about one experience, we're all connected in some way, shape or form and driving that forward with the purpose that we create as part of that. And the identity and the styling connects all of us to that, gives us something to be part of and to be proud of. And that's how identity brings us all together, because we're connected by that, and that's part and parcel of it. And then the third aspect of that is it helps us set a purpose at the heart of the company that connects all of us to our clients. So we talked a wee bit about that this morning around driving business efficiency. The brand purpose is the core definition of what we do collectively as a company. It connects every one of us, a powerful statement of intent that drives us forward with a clear sense of direction. So it's our four-sprung dirk technique, our progress through technology. It's our 400,000 IBMers all connected and determined to build a smarter planet. It's the reason why Amazon has decided to be the most customer-centric company in the world. So it's that sense of purpose is the changing factor which connects all of us and makes that really strong and really big aspect of how we move and how we change. So together as a team and through partnerships with world leaders in technology, we provide smart solutions that provide real digital transformation for businesses, including cloud, ERP, CRM and managed IT. We drive business efficiency through digital transformation. So whenever you're all, away from this and thinking about that, that's the core purpose of what we're all here to do on a daily basis. It's not create software, it's not to do this, it's to drive business efficiency. That's what our clients buy into. And it's that aspect of, if we drive business efficiency, we're making our clients more productive. If we make our clients more productive, they're making more revenue. And they're making more revenue, they love us, and they come back for more, and they tell their friends, and they tell their colleagues, and they tell other businesses. So that core purpose, when we do that properly and we connect all of those moving parts, becomes a really strong effect for how we are seen and how we're perceived in the marketplace. And it has to come down to that kind of simplicity. It's what connects us to our brand, what connects us to how we do that. And then that comes into how we communicate and how we start to build that voice. When we do that, and that's quite a difficult thing to do when we're working across different areas and regions and so on, that we all communicate with the same voice. But in reality, and I've spent quite a bit of time around the company over the last year, that aspect of saying we're open and honest comes as a natural aspect of that. We listen to ideas, we're approachable, we have a can-do attitude, and we like a laugh. So it's like that aspect of being genuine. It's not that we manufacture some way to communicate that is a marketing piece. It's about being genuine and being who we are and how we bring that to life. And that becomes a really important part for that. And we lead the tone of voice with a simple statement. We make the complex simple. So we work in technology. It's not easy for everybody to understand what that. Like I'm kind of outside of that, so I don't always know what's going on when we talk about technology. But we make the complex simple. So we start to talk about it in that way, and the tone of voice gives us an ability to do that by clarity of thought from a position of experience and knowledge. We understand our audience, so. We start to build communications that are directly for our audiences and not for other people. So if we're talking to somebody about ERP, we don't give them a whole list of stuff about CRM. We just do the simple things really well. We're clear about our objectives. We use everyday language. So we talk to our clients, or we write like we would talk to a friend. We don't have to be overly complicated or overly process-driven in those areas. We keep it personal, and we're engaging, and we make it easy. So that aspect of bringing some of those areas and some of those points together, and there's more in the guidelines, and the guys will have some more information about how you do that, but it's just trying to connect all of that and to be consistent with it as we go forward. So everything we do should be approachable, down to earth, exemplary, helpful. We use punchy headlines, we're direct, we're relevant. If we can use less words, we do so. If there's a simpler, shorter word, use it rather than 2 or 3 larger words. We keep our text engaging. We use simple language. So there's key points there that make that much easier to do when we're all doing it in the same way and we're doing it together in the right aspect. One of the other things that you'll have seen there is this positioning piece around built with experience. So the positioning piece is a cross between a tagline and something that again connects all of us to a way that we work with our customers. And we started to do this, we started to think about how we would break that down. And if you look at that in the way that built is around smart technology solutions, with is collaboration, and experience is a double play. It's us, our company name, but it's also about our knowledge and experience as an organisation. So it brings that client-centric proposition based on collaborative process we use with our clients to get the heart of the toughest challenges, brings that all together in one statement, and we can use it as a tagline, we can use it as a headline, or we can use it as a sign-off. So we start to put that into context, and we start to build the brand around some of those areas. Advanced technology built with experience, growth built with experience, determination built with experience. We can use it as a headline like we do in the centre there, or we can use it as a sign-off. Experienced people know finance, it's been built with experience. So we can start to play with that in a way that starts to give us different areas and abilities to use it, but it is this consistent ability to say with confidence that when it's built with experience, it's been done really well, and that's how we do that and how we bring that to life. The other thing that you'll have noticed is the new identity. So when we're looking at the identity, We want it to be strong and confident and have a real standout piece in the marketplace. We didn't want it to be massively different than it was before, so it's an involvement of the X that was in the circle, in the orange circle. It's a really strong, confident graphic mark, and we use it as a symbol that helps us, show our approach to how we work with clients, all working towards a central goal, creating future-based solutions for their organisations. So those 4 arrows all pointing towards that central goal in that really strong and confident way. It's about the collaboration we enter into with our clients to create the bespoke solutions that are right fit for our business. So it sort of shows us collaboration and how we all come together to do that. And lastly, it helps us alleviate any confusion of the spelling of our names. So this big strong X that we set with Xperience, and we've used Xperience in an upper-lower typeface as well, so that you don't worry about it being lowercase and are we missing an E. It's just seen as a really strong identity and logo as we go forward. And then we start to have how we use it on different colour palettes, and how we start to build that through some of the different areas, and how we can use it. So again, there's some guidelines done that we can use to show how that works in all of those different ways. How we can use it through some of our literature, different sizes and contexts that we can do, that we can build patterns with it, that we can use it as an outline and put imagery through it or video through it, that we can use it as a tint, nice and big, or we can put imagery inside it. So whenever we start to build that and build that system around that, we want it to be flexible so that it shows lots of different ways that the identity can be used. And we want it to be strong and confident to do that. And we want to be able to be creative, like we're creative companies. We want to be creative in how we do that and how we build that across all of those different areas. We'll have some different ways of how we build different sub-brands off that go through that so that they sit nicely with the identity and it's all structured and communicated in a really clear and concise fashion. And then the colours, whenever we looked at the colours, we wanted to make sure that we didn't go away from where we truly sit as a company in the first place. So that nice, bright, vibrant orange was already there. It was already a strong aspect of who we are. It was a recognition factor for Xperience in some way, that when you saw the orange that you might have thought or been connected to the orange in some way. And we didn't want to lose that. I mean, colour and brand can be such a strong recognition and awareness factor that it helps us enormously from a creative perspective to start to build that into how we do that. And then what we did was we added 2 extra complementary colours to that. It's not maybe just brilliant on that screen, but it's a nice strong pillar box red. That's a really strong dark navy blue. And the reasons for that were to be that we have this stronger flexibility across it. Navy blue gives us that air of professionalism, and the strong and bright colours gives that air of vibrancy. So they kind of work really well together to bring that as that piece. Then we'll have our greys, which were already part of the brand, and we'll have some accent colours that'll go in hand with that. And we'll have set ways in how we use them, so that the main colours will be the ones that are dialed up more, and then the accent colours will be used in smaller situations to help us build charts or diagrams or different aspects of that, so we're not too one-dimensional when we go into those areas. And the other thing you'll see, and you've even seen it in some of the slides this morning, that we use white space in a much better way, so it makes it more confident and stronger when we do those things. We've set a typeface that is exclusive for the company, that we use predominantly through everything, so that it's consistent again through everything. And what we've done is we've chosen one typeface. So rather than having 2 or 3 typefaces, we've chosen one typeface that has 3 or 4 different weights. So it enables us to be consistent in those areas. And then for some of the digital stuff, we have a complementary typeface of Arial. So everything we do is used by EFRA, and that starts to build that consistency. Because whenever you look at the brand and the communication platform, what you have is you have a number of assets. You've got your colours, you've got your typography, you've got your imagery, you've got your identity. And in some way, shape or form, we have to bring all of those together to start to build the brand look and feel. So that's an important element of that. Photography, again, is one of those areas that is a really strong aspect of how we use it and what we do. And you'll see in some of the things that we're doing this morning that photography is starting to be used in a much more dynamic way. And what we've done is we've broken that down into 4 different areas. sector specific that we have experience in, technology, people and abstract. So when we start to look at it, it starts to have a really strong aspect of who we are as a company, and shows that strength and purpose and all of those things starting to work together. It shows our sector expertise, our technology, our people are working together and so on. So those aspects of that are really important to put in and to put into that structure. So we look at sector expertise, what we'd have maybe in the construction sector, the aviation, logistics, or some of those different areas that we can start to build down through those verticals, and we can have strong imagery in all of those areas and how that looks and feels. Of course, we're a technology company, so we want to be seen as a technology company, so that's a really strong part of that. We use all of that and we start to build all of that through that. And people, one of the things we want to do is humanise the brand. Again, you'll have seen this morning, there's lots of great photographs of all of you that have come as part of this, and we're going to start to drive that through, because at the end of the day, we're a people company that are building relationships. So people's a really strong part of who this brand is. And then some of the abstract things that give us this really nice background, like the one on the board there. The other thing we've done there is we've built a system that gives us this ability to use our X, and it builds this really nice dynamic look and feel. So we can use the X across these grids that start to give us this dynamic platform to work from, and we start to build visuals that go through that give us these pieces that give us this ability to be automatically recognisable but always different in how we communicate. And you can see how we're using typography, identity and imagery to start to build a really strong piece for the brand going forward. And how we use those things to come together as part of that. Simplified technology, technology simplified, customised technology built with experience, focused innovation on our clients' needs. You start to build up those messages with real strength and confidence. You start to use typography and how we build those nice tints in, and the identity is part and parcel of that. So it comes across really strong, and how that all works. And then, you know, some of the things that we can do that are around our different merchandising pieces, around t-shirts or different aspects of that. So as I say, that's where we are today. I'm delighted to have been here. Delighted that it's started to look so strong, that the guys are all connected to it and all invested in it. Hope you guys are all liking it too. And that, as Ian had said, this is just the first day in the journey going forward. So we look forward to seeing how it all starts to build out. Unfortunately, I can't stay for the games. I have to run off for an earlier flight. But thank you so much for your time, and thanks so much for letting us be part of this brilliant project. So.
Thanks, Paul. Right. I think it's a bit of a mind melt, just what's involved in brand. There's so much more to it than I certainly thought. So listen, this then leads very nicely to the values. So I'm going to ask Yvonne to come up.
A microphone again. No, okay, for a minute. So, good morning, everybody. It's lovely to be here, and it's lovely to see you all again. I've been brought along today to talk to you about our values and to introduce our new values to you. But before I do that, I wanted to try to put some context around values and why companies like ours have values. So what we'll do is just walk through a couple of slides on that, and we'll have the first slide, Patrick. So why do we need values at work? And I suppose the first thing is that values in our personal lives and values in our working lives provide us with a sort of compass and helps us to know what to do and how to act in certain situations. So values at work give us a framework for us as employees to operate within. Also then, if you think of us as a business, we have a number of audiences. Internally, there's ourselves, and we're all sitting, observing, watching, looking at what's going on day to day and making our own assessments and using our own values to judge what's going on. And then you also think of externally, when you think that we've got clients out there, we've got prospects, we've got competitors, we've got our local communities. We've also got potential talent, people who might want to come and work in our business. And then if you think about our values and what our values do, our values give us an opportunity to let the outside world and let each other know what our personality is. And so clients can think about, do I want to actually do business with this company? And an employee or a prospective employee can think about, well, do I actually want to work in a company that has those values, and can I identify with those? So in short, the values, are really important because they help us understand how we can act and interact with each other on a day-to-day basis. And they also then define the attitudes that we can adopt towards clients and towards suppliers and the wider community. So in short, they are pretty important to how we operate, and they actually apply to every one of us, regardless of our role in the business. So I think from my point of view, it's important to also reflect the fact that we've already had a set of values in the business. I'm not sure if you're all aware of that, if any of you would be aware of what any of those values actually are. Anybody want to hazard a guess? Even no? Okay, so my next point was that the values have been pretty dormant up until now, so I think that we've just QED and proved that point. So what we've done is we've dusted down the current set of values, and we've taken a fresh look at them, and we've looked at them in the context of everything that we've been doing over the last 10 months. And if you think about all of the things that we have done in terms of the engagement survey, in terms of the focus groups, in terms of the one-to-ones, in terms of all the meetings that I had with all of you that I started doing about this time last year, and what we've done is we've listened to how you have described the company that you work in, and we've listened to how you've described the company that you'd like to work in. And what we've tried to do is to bring that all together and think about the type of values that we need as a business. And so the values that we have developed have, I suppose, they've been refreshed, if you like, and we've got a bit of old, and we've got a little bit more of new. So again, you have contributed, you have been part of that process. So before I do the big reveal, if we can have the next slide, Patrick, I decided that I would go to an Irish writer who's dead now, a man called Samuel Beckett, very wise man. And he once said, ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fail better. So really, if at first you don't succeed, you just keep trying, really is the message there. But the reason I wanted to put this in is because we're not going to flick a switch tomorrow or today or later on, a ceremonial flicking of the switch by Ian later, and be transformed into this harmonious, new, fabulous company. This is something we're going to have to work at, and we're working on it right now and have been working on it for the last 12 months, the last 50 years. We're really building on what has been here before, but we're really just taking a fresh look and looking at, are we fit for purpose going forward? But values are lofty things. They can be hard to live up to. They can be judged subjectively, and people can be judged subjectively with them. So we just need to be aware that we mightn't always get it right, each of us as individuals, as a company, but we'll have to keep trying. And if we keep trying, we keep working at it, we get better. And that is all that we're trying to do here, is to make the company better and to make it a better place to work and to make it successful for all of us as employees. So we're going to have the big reveal. At this stage, we've got 4 values. And the 4 values I'm going to describe, well, I'm going to show you now, but each value has got a name, a title if you like. It's got a value statement and a set of supporting behaviours. What we'll do today is just show you the value name and the value statement, and at a later stage over the coming months we'll take you through the supporting behaviours and look at how they might work for our business. So here we go. Yeah. So our values, each one has a logo as well, I should have said. So the first one that we have is integrity. And integrity is a surviving value, if you like, from the current set that you all didn't know about. But trust me, it was in there. And from a business point of view, it was one that the owners were keen to retain. So the value statement is that we believe stronger and longer relationships are forged when they're built on integrity, trust and respect. not a whole lot different from what we've already had, and it kind of speaks for itself, I think. The next one is collaboration. We are one team working to one goal, and when we work together, great things happen. And you've heard a few of the speakers already today talk about one Xperience, and it reflects that we want to be unified as one Xperience, as a business, as a team, both internally and externally. And we want people to know that this is our business, that we're proud of our business, and that we work together in our business to do the best for ourselves internally, but also externally for our clients. Success then is, the value statement is that being successful is based on creating the right environment in which everyone has a role to play and every role matters. And this one we were keen to put in because we wanted to reflect our people. And we all want to work in a business that's successful. We all want to contribute so that we as individuals are successful within the business. And it's really important that from our point of view that everybody is successful and we as individuals are successful, because that drives the business forward and makes us better and makes us as a business more successful. So it's very important that that's there, that that's driven from us as employees. And finally then, ambition. We are ambitious, pushing boundaries and adding value in everything we do for our employees and our clients. And this, I guess, has got an eye to having a can-do attitude about being able to adapt to change, about being able to adapt to the challenges that always come our way, and being able to find innovative and different and fresh ways of doing things, because again, that's what drives us forward as a business. So, you can see that the values have been thought through. We've taken your input on board and we've tried to reflect how we would like our business to be going forward, knowing that this is something that we're going to have to work towards and we're all going to be involved in, regardless of our role, regardless of our title, regardless of our status in the business. We all will have to hold the values mirror up to ourselves. And I guess going forward, what we want to do is to bring the values more to life and to embed them more in what we do and how we do it. So we will be doing a little bit more work, well, probably a lot more work in the coming months with you around the value behaviour statements, but also then how we use values day to day in our work internally and also externally. So I think that's pretty much all that I had to say to you this morning, but we are very excited about the values and looking forward to seeing how we can embed them and bring them to life with all of you. Okay?
Thanks, Yvonne. Right, folks, Ian and I both touched on this at the start. This is the start of a journey for us, all of us. So we wanted Claire to sort of say, well, look, where do we go to next? What does this mean? Because getting the new brand and how we all work isn't the end. It's just the start. So over to you, Claire.
I'll flick to the next slide, Patrick. So why is having a marketing team important? And probably some people say, yeah, why do we need a new marketing department? So I think when it comes to building and growing a profitable business, marketing is a vital component of helping a business achieve that. The reason marketing is so important is because it doesn't really matter how great our products and services are if actually nobody knows we exist. So there are a number of key areas. There's lots more than this, but I've pulled out the key areas in which I think we contribute and add the most value. So the first being we help build a strong, profitable brand. We've talked quite a bit about this, but I'm just going to quickly take you through that in terms of what we do to help create brand awareness. So we mentioned earlier that the brand is the most valuable asset that a company owns, and it's probably the primary reason a customer will choose to buy from us. And our job as a team is to get the word out there about the brand, and we do that through PR. Orla is going to be doing a lot of work at the end of this year on our CSR policy around how we become an ethical, sustainable business going forward. We're looking at thought leadership, campaigns, our website, and these are just to name a few of the channels that we will be using. And all of these activities combined help us to establish credibility and trust with our audience. The second thing we do is we inform and engage our prospects and clients. So we operate, as I mentioned earlier on, in a really noisy marketplace. Our target audience needs to know why should they choose Xperience over any of our competitors. So our job is to educate and engage current and potential customers about our business and how we can help them solve their challenges. And the types of things that we do in order to do that is, we run campaigns, we share informative, I'll get the word out shortly, articles, or replying to our audience on social media. And this is just some of the ways that we keep the conversation going with our audiences. If sales can't get anywhere with them, we need to keep that conversation going. We generate new opportunities and revenue. So when we get the word out about our business, whether that's through PR or campaigns, our prospects are more likely to buy from us. It's at this point where a new customer will spread the word or refer us to another prospect. And that probably wouldn't happen as much if it wasn't for marketing. And finally, what we do is we help communicate and engage effectively with you through internal communications. Again, Orla's been doing a fantastic job this year in terms of making sure that there's regular internal comms. We're kind of only at the start of this journey. We'll be evolving it and improving it all the time. But the point of that is to make sure that everyone across the organisation is working collaboratively towards a common goal. And our job is to work with the senior management team and with all of you guys to find out about all the great projects that you're working on, and to make sure that project and the knowledge about that project just doesn't stay in your business areas, that the whole business is aware of it. So next slide. In terms of this being the very, very start of our journey, and it is literally the very start of our journey, we have a huge amount of work that we need to cover from this point on. We're not done on this new brand. We've got to get this embedded within the business. We have got loads more templates that we need to rebrand. We need to make sure that we familiarise you with the brand so that you all use it successfully. And we've got to look at the long-term brand strategy. Where do we want this brand to be in 2 to 3 years' time? And how are we going to create that awareness? We need to look at our marketing strategy and planning between now and the end of the year so that we hit the ground running in January. We're about to launch a new website in, I think it's probably going to be November now, and that's going to form the backbone of our online marketing. And Drew from the marketing team and Jade have been working together with many of you across this room in terms of creating the look and feel of that. We're going to be working on proposition development for each of our key pillars. We're doing ideal customer profiling so that we can mirror out our ideal customers and reach out to prospects that are similar to those customers we like working with. We're looking at engaging lead gen campaigns so that when we hit the ground running, we can get our brand out there in 2020. Thought leadership, potentially helping with acquisitions, internal comms, looking at account-based marketing in terms of looking at our top 20 clients and making sure that we can do one-to-one marketing with those clients to upsell our products. Telemarketing has even evolved this year, whereas before they were making telemarketing calls, that Faz there at the back of the room. Now they're moving on to LinkedIn social selling, to doing prospecting. And one of the other key things we want to look at between now and the end of the year is how do we measure the effectiveness of marketing? We have Communicator, and at the minute we're looking at other tools maybe to improve our ability to report back to the business. So tons and tons of stuff to do, and I'm sure there's stuff on this that I've not mentioned, but those are sort of the key things. So in terms of rebrand support, in terms of what we're going to be providing you guys, there's going to be a new Xperience corporate brochure. This is broadly what it's going to look like in the top right hand corner. We're still trying to get sign off on that, so that is not going to be available today, but it's going to be available in the next couple of weeks. And that's going to be talking about why would you buy from Xperience and our core pillars and our purpose. We've got Xperience, our brand in your hands. Bottom right, that is going to be available immediately. And Orla has done a fantastic piece of work on that in terms of anything you want to know about the brand, in terms of our colours, our fonts, our purpose, our values. It's your go-to guide. It's really fantastic, and that's going to be available immediately. You're going to get branded PowerPoint template, which is basically what you've seen today, which is a great way if you're in sales or customer facing. You can go out and you can present your information in any way or best way possible. We're going to be running a number of brand masterclasses, and if you can, please make sure that you attend, because that will be the do's and don'ts of using the brand and giving you the real ins and outs of how you actually use it. So that's going to be on the 8th in Peterborough, 14th and 23rd will be in Lisburn. We're more than happy to run further sessions if they are required. There's going to be branded word templates available. So again, for your pricing and proposals, there are hundreds of word templates that we're trying to get our heads around at the minute. So we're working through those documents as we speak. We're looking at nominating brand champions across the business, and we're working on that process now. So there'll be some brand champions who'll be like super users of the brand in the various locations. We're going to have some new external signage up. Jade, when are we looking at new signages this week? Today. So whenever you go back to the office, potentially today, you're going to have some new signage. We're going to be running a soft launch of communications to clients, partners and suppliers, and we're going to have a new website. So this here, the bigger image there, that is where we're at. This is kind of like a sneak preview of what the new website's going to look, but again, we're kind of getting final sign off on that. If we take a look at sort of everything that you're seeing today, the exhibition stands, the website, the brochureware, you can really start to see a much more cohesive brand coming together. So it doesn't matter where you are in the business, whether you're marketing or sales, the brand looks really consistent. So it's really fantastic. Just to let you know, we have now set up, and it is set up, a new email, brand@xperience-group.com. Anybody has any questions about brand, please contact us on that. If you're needing templates rebranded urgently, please just email us and we'll get that done for you. And we're also going to make all the templates available on SharePoint so that you can access those. You'll get a link within the next week or so on that as well. Okay. Next. Last slide. So phase 2, what you're going to get is a PowerPoint library but with content. So what we're going to do is start populating out the sales toolkit with who we are as Xperience and what our key pillars are, so that you have a library of slides that you can work with. We're going to be looking at our value propositions and brochureware for key pillars and sectors. We are looking at potentially rebranding the inside of the buildings in 2020. We're going to be running some recruitment, getting some recruitment videos for Yvonne and Ailing to help them recruit more effectively. And then we're going to do a proper hard launch of the brand through multi-channel campaigns in 2020. So that's basically everything from me. I suppose I just want to finish off with a quote from Steve Jobs. I do like Steve Jobs. And he said that a brand needs investment and caring if it is to remain relevant. Certainly as we go forward as a business, we will be investing more in the brand, and we will continue to invest in the brand because I think it's something that we need to do. But we need to take ferocious care of the brand in order for it to be a success. So please take care of the brand. And thank you all for listening to me again today.
Okay, David, you're up. Just brief us all how this will impact sales going forward.
Great, thank you all. So, consistency. The way we market, educate and prospect to our clients has to be the same across all locations. The process that, say, Simon or David would go through to win over a new client should be exactly the same as Gemma or Andrew Cavey or David Martin over in Lisbon. Our sales collateral, proposals and presentations should all be structured in a similar way that immediately identifies Xperience as the brand. We need to speak the same language internally and externally. Whether we're working on Dynamics Business Central, Cloud Infrastructure as a Service, or an apt add-on, it should all be exactly the same. This is why Joe and Patrick have agreed to rename our account managers to client account managers, putting the client first. If you walked into a Costa Coffee in Northern Ireland, and then again somewhere in GB, or anywhere else around the world, you'll get exactly the same experience. That should be no different for us and our clients. We need to broaden our horizons when it comes to helping our clients succeed. Everyone in this room should have a vested interest in all the solutions and applications that we sell across the group. If a client calls in to say they have a company within their group that uses Pegasus, and do we know anything about it? The answer should be yes. And can I get someone else to get in touch? There should be no excuses for not understanding what other elements or other locations or other departments, even within the same location, do or don't do. By collaborating with our colleagues and learning from each other, we will deliver real tangible solutions. We all need to put the client at the heart of everything we do. Starting with new business, we need to broaden the conversation we're having with our clients to include the 4 pillars of our business. So cloud, managed IT, ERP and CRM. It should be mandatory that we capture basic information on each of these pillars at point of initial engagement. We mustn't be selfish and put the phone down as there wasn't a short-term opportunity for CRM, for example, because it doesn't mean that there wasn't a cloud conversation to be had, or that they aren't experiencing pain with their current accounting solution. Our client account managers then need to build on this and reinforce what we do and how we help drive efficiencies across the 4 pillars for our other customers. We all need to demonstrate our passion about the brand, what we stand for, and how we can help. This is the only way we're going to add value to our clients. No problem. So as Ian rightly pointed out, that is our purpose, driving business efficiencies through digital transformation. Through our core products and solutions, we streamline processes, reduce costs, increase security, and help our clients get to market faster. All of this helps them become more profitable. But this is actually what we're doing today, but in departmental silos. Imagine what we could do, or imagine what we could achieve if we could collaborate as one team. Finally, instead of focusing on departmental duties, we need to focus on becoming trusted advisors to our clients, providing deeper client relationships, provide more complete solutions that span multiple departments through our improved collaboration, achieving greater client retention, offering strategic advice that goes beyond our departmental expertise. Remember, our success will always be measured by our client's success.
Thank you, David.
No problem.
Nice job. The best presentation today so far, David. Right. I'd like to invite Neil up now to sort of give us a heads up on how this is going to impact projects and support.
Afternoon, everyone. Okay, when we look at how we deliver our projects, we can see how our values that, when adopted, can make a huge difference. Take integrity, for example. Don't be afraid to be realistic, be upfront from the outset, and about the reality of delivering the projects. We should manage expectations, communicate bad news early, such as possible delays, overruns, or problems both internally and externally. And always escalate if need be. There may be tears and tantrums along the way, difficult challenges to overcome. It's not always easy and it's never a smooth road, but we will come through it together and build those stronger relationships. By doing this, customers will start to trust and respect us, and we've also seen the benefits of effective collaboration, which is an area that we can also certainly improve on, such as looking at other opportunities to promote other products across other business units within Xperience, being respectful of other people's roles, and giving consideration to whether we're acting in the best interest of the customer or just ourselves. It's only when we piece all of this together that we can truly collaborate. During the last general meeting, Andrew Cavey spoke of the collaboration regarding the implementation of Morris and Spottiswoode, but did we collaborate that well? We can look at the lessons learned from that project and make immediate improvements, and should look to implement post-project reviews to discuss both the positive and the negative points that we can all learn from. The same approach applies to how we provide support. Again, we should also manage the expectations and be honest. And things will only get worse if we don't communicate those early. So let's try and exceed the customer's expectations and not just deliver to the constraints of an SLA. We're aspiring to have stronger and longer term relationships through trust and respect. Be the customer and think of the customer in terms of that individual, and put yourself in their shoes and how we might feel when we don't get responses both inside and outside of the workplace. I can't stress this enough, as it's already been mentioned today, that in the eyes of the customer, we are one company, we are one team. So let's all work together, act as one, and deliver that one experience. So in terms of the consolidation of systems, as you'll all be aware by now, we've been working on the consolidation of the systems across Xperience, starting with the rebranding and centralisation of the core line business apps, which include Dynamics 365 for CRM, Dynamics NAV or Business Central for financials, which both are hosted on the Azure platform, and Kayako for help desk and customer support, which is hosted on our own platform in Enfield. With the consolidation of these systems, we can start to gain efficiencies and reduce our operating costs. For example, the integration between CRM and financials automatically pushes sales orders directly from CRM into Dynamics NAV, which now saves many man-hours of our admin and finance teams from having to key those in manually. One of the key benefits with all of our trading companies using the same applications will mean that we're all using it in the exact same way, which in turn will deliver the consistency across our business processes, which will help us to improve the overall customer experience. Once all of these core applications have gone live, the work doesn't stop there. We'll need to continually review, refine, and keep the systems fit for purpose, enabling us to manage and conduct business easily, with all clients across all those business units. Our overall strategic focus is to continue to grow the business both organically and through acquisition. Having our line of business apps centralised platforms will enable us to integrate future acquisitions much more seamlessly and wrap all these up with the One Xperience brand much quicker than we've been able to do so in the past. So what have we achieved so far? Well, Kayako is live across all 3 locations now. Dynamics NAV is live in Glasgow and Peterborough. Lisbon is scheduled to go live in January 2020. And Dynamics 365 CRM is live in Glasgow and Lisbon and is scheduled for go live next month in Peterborough. Okay, so what to expect? In September, October, external signage, which we've talked about today. On the 8th, the 14th and 23rd of October, there'll be the brand masterclasses. On the 8th of October, there'll be client and supplier launch emails. Also on the same day, there will be the website and social channels updated. On the 16th of October, the top 100 clients will receive a letter and a brochure. On the 24th of October, there'll be a client purpose email sent out. On the 7th of November, the client values email will be published. And on the 17th of December, we'll be sending out the Christmas e-cards. January 2020 will be the relaunch of the client newsletter and the hard launch with multi-channel campaign. So you can see from that, we've still got quite a lot of work to do, but we should all embrace the change. Change is good, and change is what keeps us moving forward. So.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you very much. I've had the privilege of working in Xperience for 32 years, and I honestly have to say this is the biggest thing that we've ever decided to do as a company. And we're talking about the last 10 months' work, but in reality, Ian and the rest of us sat down probably about 16 months ago to say, how can we change what we're doing? How can we really improve what we're doing? And so this is very much a collaborative approach. It's been our biggest collaborative piece of work that we've ever done. You guys have shaped this. Our customers have told us this is what we stand for. Our customers have told us why they buy from us. So we should all be incredibly proud of our values and what statements are being said today. But this is the start. We need to live and breathe these. We've invested in bringing experts into the business to help guide this and help shape this the right way, because we are going to grow, we are going to expand, and it'd be great to have a bigger room with maybe another 30 people coming in and feeling part of Xperience. And we're all singing from the same hymn sheet. We're all feeling like we're one company. So hopefully today has given you an idea of how we've got to where we have. But as Ian said at the start, this is the beginning. This is really setting us up at a time of disruption. We're making one of the biggest investments so that we're here in another 50 years. We're really making a difference to our customers and to our staff. So just to remind you, brand doesn't live with marketing. It lives with all of us. The guidelines will become vitally important. If it's diluted, death is probably the strongest and simplest way to put it. Because this is what we stand for. This is why Coca-Cola is so recognised. This is why we'll not be another Amazon, but we can be the best in our field. We can be the best in our sector. We can attract the best talent. We can attract the right customers for us. And we can really use this as a catalyst for growth. So we're going to finish up now. We've got the games. We're going to have packs and T-shirts for everyone. We suggest leave the packs till when you're going back to the office. But Ian and I would like to play the video again. We're going against script here. But we would really like to flick back and give you all another chance to see where this is a step up in terms of our professionalism, in terms of our messaging, in terms of what we all collectively stand for. We should all feel very proud of today and use this as our start for the next 5, 10, 15, if I'm still here, 20, 25 years. So I'm going to flick back. Jade, if you can hopefully help.